Ferreira is lost to us. He denounced God in public and surrendered the faith.
That's not possible. Father Ferreira risked his life to spread our faith all over Japan.
It seems to me that our mission here is more urgent than ever. We must go find Father Ferreira.
This is in your hearts, then, both of you?
Yes.
Then I must trust God has put it down.
Marty was given a book by a priest who was helping us with The Last Temptation of Christ when we were writing that. The priest said, if you like Last Temptation, I think you'll like this. He handed him Silence. Marty loved it and handed it to me. That was somewhere around the Paleolithic age, I think, around 1990. And he said, want to do this? Let's have some fun. And I said, you bet. I've learned through 50 years of friendship that when Marty says, let's have some fun, it's an invitation you can't and should never resist. So I didn't. And we've been at it on and off with much prayer for 25 years until this moment. I had a very difficult time as a writer getting my own handle on the book, this wonderful book, both thematically and emotionally. I was very confused, kind of muddled my way through a first draft, was very concerned about the draft I'd done, handed it in to Marty, and he was very complimentary about it, and he especially liked an ending that I wrote that was slightly different, but importantly different from the book. And when I knew that he liked this ending, I understood that in ways that I hadn't realized, I must have connected with this very difficult book. Then I had to go back and figure out how I'd connected and what I'd connected with. And in that, I had his help and guidance, because after doing the first draft, we worked together on the dozens of other drafts we did over the years.
The price for your glory is their suffering.
It's too dangerous.
We asked for this mission.
We didn't want good guys and bad guys. We want every character to be understood for what that character believed in and represented. We didn't want to choose sides. You know, that wonderful thing Jean Renoir said, everyone has his reasons. We wanted people to understand the reasons that the priests were impelled to promulgate the faith and make it survive, and we wanted also for people to understand why the Japanese resisted. They saw the faith as a threat to their culture, rightly or wrongly, and were bent, seriously bent, dedicated to preserving their own faith, their own country, and their own way of life against what they saw as the incursions of a European faith. It has the common theme of spiritual striving, which runs through many of his movies, whether it's very overt, like Last Temptation of Christ, or kind of subtext, as in, well, the other movies I've done with him, Gangs of New York and Age of Innocence. They all are about a quest of conscience. And I think that in one way or another, and I think that this is most manifestly about that. And I think that that's a real advantage for us, because it brings the subject matter right up to the fore and the audience can engage with it directly. So I think it's very much a part of his work. It doesn't have the wild comic exuberance of something like The Wolf of Wall Street, But even Leo in The Wolf of Wall Street had a spiritual striving. He was just striving in the wrong direction.
The moment you set foot in that country, you step into high danger.
It's an intimate story on an epic canvas, and I'm delighted to think that the intimate story dominates, that it's not a canvas of beauty in which there are these small things kind of happening, distracting you from the natural wonders on the screen. The setting seems to mirror what's going on inside the characters, our priests, internally. The epic size serves the story.
I pray, but I'm lost. Am I just praying to silence?
When I saw the movie for the first time, I was shattered to find that the struggle that lay under that is the struggle of the characters, not my struggle. The struggle that lay under the characters was so strong, and that Marty had been able to make it so dramatic and so immediate and so visceral that the whole story, again, of the struggle of conscience resonated with me profoundly. Somewhat to my surprise, I stopped thinking about the movie as a project. I stopped thinking about it as work. I stopped thinking about it mechanically, and it became a vibrant, living entity of its own.